Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you again with me, Lani Marlina from Universitas Negeri Padang. In this occasion, I'm going to talk about the next type of question in listening TOEFL. It's called organization. In previous video, I already talked about some type of question, and now we come to the organization. Are you ready to listen? Okay, here we go. Organization questions occur almost exclusively in lectures and are of the three basic types. The first types of the organization deal with the overall organization of the lecture. The second will ask you about the relationships between two or more parts of the lectures. And the third is similar to a function question, but deal with a whole sentence. If you learn to notice how the information is organized automatically as you listened, then answering overall organization questions will be a breeze. When the overall organization is in question, these are some of the most likely ways that the lecture may have been organized in listening. First, likelihood. Second, complexity. Third, chronology. Fourth, comparison. Fifth, general to specific. And the last but not least, cause and effect. Let's talk one by one. Likelihood organization. This type of organization is most often used when the lectures deal with different theories or possibilities. The speaker will begin with the least likely and proceed to the most likely. More rarely, she may begin with the most likely and move toward the least likely. All right, that's about likelihood organization. The second one, complexity organization. In this organization's question, the speaker may list the ideas in the lecture from simplest to most complex in order to make the more difficult information more accessible. Number three, chronology. Chronology is the lectures in history are often, but not always, organized chronologically. That is beginning with the first event that occurred and moving up to the one that occurred most recently. The number four, comparison. This theme of organization groups all the similarities among the items being discussed. Then groups all the differences, or the other way around. The professor thesis statement or statement of the main idea of the lecture will likely give you a clue when a comparative organization is going to be used. The next type is general to specific organizations. Very often, a lecture will start out with the professors talking about a general concept, and then they will start talking about some more specific details about how the idea works and examples of it in the real life. The last but not least is cause and effect organization. Don't expect this to be so simple as A happens and B happens. Instead, you might hear about some phenomenon, and then the professor will talk about the three main causes for the phenomenon. Or conversely, you might hear about one phenomenon and then three different effects it has. These are others. There are others too, and these structures can also be combined. For example, you might have a comparison structure, but one of the parts in comparison is more important than others. So it has general to specific structure within the comparison structure. This makes it quite tricky sometimes to hear the main organization. Keep in mind that all of our organization should include all parts of the lecture. There may be cause and effect relationships that doesn't relate to the rest of the lecture. For example, and that would not be the main organization. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all about organization and of the lecture. Now we talk about the relationship between two or more parts of the lecture. The second kind of organization question is that one that deals with the relationships between various parts of lecture. For example, the test may ask you, How does the professor explain his theory about the causes of the war? To answer these questions, you would need to look back at your notes and find the information that is relevant to the question. These questions are about the smaller relationship rather than overall structure. Now we come to the third. Is similar to a function question, but deal with a whole sentence. Okay. Finally, we have the function type organization question. This will ask you about whole sentence that provide a clue to how the professor is structuring the lecture. For example, the professor will sometimes go off topic, give a personal to clarify the information, or give information that is redundant. Often, she or he will announce this by saying something like, you don't need to write this down, or let me show you what I mean. To answer the type of organization question correctly, you need to pay attention to these cues. In particular, pay attention to any time the professor appears to be digressing or going off topic, as you may be asked about digression later. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all about organization question in listening's TOEFL session. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it's helpful and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much and see you again in the next related video.